I got into dolls almost by accident, but then again, I think it was something that I was destined to do. It started by shopping for a birthday gift for my niece, and um, it was that incident that actually brought to my realization that the shelves were full of only white dolls. I got the idea at that point in time, that it would be nice to have actually dolls of color on the shelf, and being in Nigeria, and I had the idea, thought about it from start to finish and everything, but I think about 3 months or so after, I was at home, my daughter was with me. Just casually, she asked me, "Oh, what color am I?" And I'm like, "Okay, where's this going?" I was trying to figure out, how to answer that, and what was she thinking? Why would that come to mind at 3? So I said to her, "Oh, you're black," and she was like, she had a long face, and I'm like, after trying to tell her that, "Oh, black is nice," there are different types of people, there are different race, and things like that. She didn't seem too convinced, So at the end of it, she was like, "Well, I wish I was white," and like, So I'm thinking, okay, so where did I go wrong? This is a 3-year-old already having an identity crisis. What that did was give me a better, clearer insight about our surroundings, our environment. I realized at that point in time also that, all her dolls that I'd even bought her in the past, because it never occurred to me that, it had to be a certain color, or the color was important, but I realized all her dolls were white. I realized that all her favorite characters were white. All the programs she was watching at that time from Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, were all featured primarily white characters, major roles. So I'm thinking, okay, so that would begin to explain why, because she now looks in the mirror. She doesn't see that image of the people that she admires or that she likes. She doesn't see that in herself. So I thought, okay, you know what? It would be great to begin to create that a character or play tools, or that, in this case, a doll that she can identify with, and that I believe that she will begin to also see herself in the mix. Because if her race is not represented in the mix of the things that she finds interesting, then how would she begin to appreciate or feel that she's relevant as a black African girl? So that was when I actually started putting taking action towards the development and production of the dolls. Another day again, my nieces came over to play with her cousins, so I had my dolls and I gave it to them. At that time the concept was to have them in full African Nigerian attire, with the head tie and everything, and they were like, "Oh, no, we don't like these ones, they're very mama, we don't like them," and they took off the clothes and put on the clothes from their other dolls, the evening dresses and mini skirts and things like that. And I'm thinking, okay, I mean, this dolls I'm creating is for this audience, and if already they are not embracing this, then maybe I need to sort of put a bit of twist in it. So yes, I now decided, rather than, for a start, in order to gain acceptance, rather than have them wear the full traditional Nigerian outfit, why don't I just use African fabrics to make contemporary sort of clothes, and that's sort of striking a balance, and which was what I did. Okay, so that hurdle crossed, and my production done. Got my dolls into was now working on distribution and getting my dolls into the market. I remember so vividly, it's like the stores were like, "Nope, we want white dolls. The white dolls are what sells. That's what people buy. Bring us white dolls and we'll buy. And I'm like, what are you talking about? This is Nigerian. This is African. I'm like, sorry, is what sells. And I do understand their own perspective because, you know, they're in business and, you know, this is clearly what people are buying. So I thought, okay. So in order to actually even get into the stores, you know, I had to now agree on like a sales and return sort of arrangement with them because that's the only way they will take the dolls. So I thought, okay, you know what? There's a need to begin to educate and enlighten people about, you know, because until my own personal experience, I didn't realize there was an issue. I didn't realize that, you know, there was anything about color of the dolls or, you know, or the environment or, you know, what the children are taking in terms of, you know, entertainment. So with the rejection from the stores, I decided to, you know, embark on like an awareness sort of, embarked on an awareness exercise where I got on TV, radio, you know, newsprint, talking about the need to have, you know, black dolls, what impact it could have on the kids, and how it can help to develop their confidence level, and so on, you know. So I did that for almost 2 years, you know. I was at a whole lot of, you know, fun days at schools organized, and I had the opportunity one-on-one with parents and the kids, you know, talking about it. I remember one particular, you know, mother that came with her daughter, and you know, she was like, oh goodness, you know, this is so nice, and she liked the Aziza doll, which is the darkest of the, because I have them in 3 shades for now, and Aziza is the darkest, and she was like, oh, this is so nice, oh, that her daughter should take that one. And this is, I was like, no, 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 she wants the Ineka doll. The Ineka doll is the fairest of the 3. And I realized that even from of the 3 different shades that I had, or the skin tone that I had, the kids preferred the Ineka doll as the fairest. And the adults sort of, you know, lean more towards the Aziza doll, that's the darkest, you know. I think for them, that they probably went back to their own childhood wishing that they had one like that. And then being matured and adults, they probably realized the importance or the need to have, you know, of having dark skinned dolls. But for the kids, you know, the Ineka doll is more attractive, more of what they see, because that's got straight brown hair. It took a while, but you know, after like 2 years and, you know, creating the awareness and, you know, talking about the importance of having dolls like that, I think the kids started warming up to the dolls, and it was the Ineka doll that was the one they liked the most, and that was the one that was selling the most. You know, so with that journey, it really made me realize that, you know, then certain things started coming up, you know, standard of beauty for the African woman. Who is really an African? Are we defined by our skin tones, the texture of our hair? And some adults are like, oh, well, your dolls should have afros and kinky hair. I'm like, how many people actually rock their kinky hair? And really, who begins to determine, you know, who an African is? One of the great beauty of being an African is, or about Africa, is the diversity that we have. We're colorful, we are bold, we have, you know, our uniqueness and everything. But you see, I'm saying that, you know, we need to celebrate all this. I know that in terms of the looks, you know, sometimes, and there was the thing about the skin lightening and the things about all the you know, the weaves and the Brazilian hair and things like that. Women can do that, or it might be embraced, but then again, at the same time, you know, I'm at that point in time that I'm like, you know, we need to know and have our own identity. We need to connect with our culture. We need to connect with the things that make us uniquely African. And in that, I believe that we can begin to celebrate ourselves, and as we begin to celebrate ourselves, I think people on, you know, of a different race will begin to also recognize and respect the fact of who we are as a people. You know, I look at the Chinese, for example. I mean, like, they're shut out from the whole world for God knows how many years. They're about 30 years old, but you know, you find out that, you know, they still hold their culture dear, regardless of wherever it is that they live, even if, you know, they grew up in the UK or in the States and everything, but they still have connection or ties to their culture, to their roots, you know. And I think the world generally also embraces and respects them for that. The same thing with the Indians, the same thing with the Japanese. But, you know, with the Africans, I think we sort of, I believe that, you know, it sort of stops or starts. What I'm doing now is using them as a symbol, not to educate and enlighten the, you know, the coming generation, that you know, you need to be able to celebrate yourself. You know, history did not start from you know, from being slaves or being taken away to the States. You know, because for people, if they start from there, that's not the roots. That's not where we come from, and there's not that much culture that you really have and celebrate from there. We need to go beyond, you know, before that time. And, you know, that's where our identity lies. And, you know, so I want to use the dolls to begin to tell the story, take it back and begin to, you know, celebrate and show that the African culture is nice, it's rich, it's diverse, and, you know, it's something that, you know, we can be very proud of. So from wanting to fill the market, the void in the market of black dolls has brought me on this journey to, like, realization and the idea of the, you know, what can really help promote, you know, self-confidence and pride in, you know, the future African. Goodness, and now we have great, very good response from almost all over the world, you know, and hence wanting to now really tell that story and sell the culture. So what it is that I'm selling now is the African culture, you know, and I think a whole lot of people are identifying with it and they are embracing it, and, you know, so the stage where I'm at now is really ensuring that we are able to, I mean, accessibility of the products and, you know, everything else that comes with it, because there's certain challenges in terms of, you know, the business angle of it. We have to get that right so that we are able to really ensure that, you know, we reach as many people as possible. I mean, I have people from Egypt, Australia, you know, writing and wanting to, you know, buy and, you know, on the door, or, you know, and so I'm thinking, you know what, we need to be able to ensure that we have circulation covered worldwide, and with that, I think, you know, it would increase and improve the financial status of, you know, the project, and that way we would also be able to get the you know, it would also be able to tell the story even better from the States, as far as Australia. Someone from, I think, Egypt. I'm thinking, really? Like, but then again, sometimes you think just the same way, like you have Indians, Chinese own Caucasian dolls, and, you know, so they can own African dolls too. I mean, like, you know, so you don't really have to be white to play with white dolls or black to play with black dolls. You know? What I always like, because initially, when I first started, you know, with my dolls, I didn't want my daughter playing with any white dolls. I you know, made sure she had just, you know, my own dolls. And I'm thinking that, well, that's also another shallow way of dealing with the issue, because you see, there's still the diversity of the whole world, you know. So, and the different, you know, types of people, different races. So, really, we should. I thought she should learn that they, you know, the different, you know, types of people that they are. So. They not having a tunnel vision about, oh, okay, so because you're black and you must have black girls only, or no, if you're black, not having all white girls, but you know, have them both, and then that way you're able to know that yeah, there are different types of people, and you're unique in your own ways, as others are unique in their ways. Appreciate and celebrate where you're from, and you know, yeah, that's the idea. Yeah, well, it depends on where you're located. I mean, in the States, we sell online on our website. And in the UK, we have a UK representative who also has a website and sells on the website. In Nigeria, we are at the game store. And we sell at your other, you know, unique places like Quintessence and, you know, other boutiques like that. Our website is www.queensofafricadolls.com. That's for the US. So from the US representative caters for the US and Canada and you know, Brazil, while the UK representative caters for Europe. And the website for the you know, UK rep is www.queensofafricauk.com.